94.0. Reviving communities.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
We're going to be main team along with Mr. Raj and windy July evening. It's the Mahtab Aziz service of our shop, and our guest this evening is in fact in a rather envious place at the moment. I'm sure it's so sunny and shining where you are, Mr. Tahir Mahmood. Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, we seem to have a slight problem with the Wi-Fi. Let's have a look. Our technicians are onto it at the moment to see if we can make it any better. Are we getting there? Right? Yeah, we're getting there. We just need to twiddle a few buttons, and hopefully, hey presto, we'll be. I think the rain in Spain seems to be affecting our Wi-Fi quite badly at the moment. We're still trying. Well, while we're trying to get Mr. Mahmood back on again, just like to say, I hope that the weather gets better. I mean, it is July after all, and we associate July with lots of sunshine and nice weather for going out. And so far, it's been quite windy and raining. I hope the weather forecast is better for what remains of this month. Another 3 weeks, of course, before we into August. Let's have a look. How are we doing? There's a problem. So I think we may have to have a phone only interview, because Mr. Mahmood is rather a long way away on the other side of the earth, and in between, the gremlins have triumphed once again. So we'll go for a little break now, and I'm sure when we get back, we'll be speaking to Mr. Mahmood. Stay with us.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk or contact our sales team now on 07944 565616. That's 07944 565616. Advertise with Revive FM.
Let's connect with the Holy Quran. Minhaj Dawah Project distributes the Holy Quran in plain simple English for free. You can donate £3 and sponsor a Quran to a loved one, a neighbour, a colleague or a friend. We distribute Qurans totally free of charge across the whole UK, including in prisons. Please call us now to contribute on 0300 030 1951 or email us on dawah@minhajuk.org.
The Career Link Project is a free employment and careers service aimed at supporting young BAME women to navigate a path towards a successful future. If you're 16 or over and currently out of work, you could receive up to 10 months of personalised one-on-one career support and skills-based training to help you secure your future. Get in touch with us today on 07862 035 511 or email us at clp@tffn.co.uk. The Career Link Project, your future in your hands.
ये आयशा है। ये बहुत छोटी सी थी जब इसके वालिद का एक हादसे में इंतकाल हो गया। वो अपनी माँ और छोटे बहन भाइयों के साथ रहती है। आयशा जैसी लाखों बच्चियां जिंदगी की बुनियादी सहूलतों से बिल्कुल महरूम हैं। यही वजह है कि वो स्कूल भी नहीं जा सकती। मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन ने आपके एहतियात और अपनी खिदमत दुनिया भर के यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों के लिए वक्फ कर दी है। एक यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चे का सहारा बनिए। आज ही अतिया कीजिए।
अभी कॉल मिलाएं 0300 3030 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org।
Revive FM 94.0 on the radio, on your mobile,
and online. And welcome back to the Mahtab Aziz Celebrity Lawyer Show on Revive FM 94.0. We did, before the break, try to connect with Mr Tahir Mahmood, the CEO of Pride magazine. Our technicians have done, hopefully, a wonderful job. And Mr Mahmood, are you there? Oh, I can see you, but the sound is a bit. Right. I think we may have to have a telephone on. Just hang on in there, Mr. Mahmood. But I think we're going to try and have a telephone only interview. So much as we'd like to have seen you on our screens, unfortunately, it's not been possible. So I think we're just going to try and get you on the line. So hopefully, just for the last time, we're going to go for a break, and we'll come back on the phone.
दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी तकसीम खुराक मुहिम कुर्बानी का हिस्सा बने। भूख करोड़ों अफराद की जान ले लेती है। इस ईद पर मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन को दी गई कुर्बानी से जिंदगियां बचाएं। सिर्फ 40 पाउंड से कुर्बानी में हिस्सा लें। इसके साथ ईद का तोहफा भी शामिल करें। इस साल ईद कुर्बान सिर्फ मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन के साथ। अभी कॉल मिलाएं 0300 3030 या विजिट करें minhajwelfare.org।
Waris Food Store, the place to go for all your meat and groceries. We stock thousands of items from fresh fruit and veg to all your favourite Ramadan food products. Based at 420 Hoe Street in Walthamstow, we can deliver anything you need right to your doorstep. Just give us a call on 0208 521 0000 and take advantage of our huge Ramadan offers. Waris Food Stores is now also available on Uber Eats.
Turkish Kitchen, the best Turkish food you'll ever taste. We only use the highest quality meat. Along with our mixed grill platters, we serve cold mezes, hot mezes, lamachin, and a wide selection of fish options. To order for delivery or collection, call us now on 0208 507 8822. That's 0208 507 8822. Or visit us at 41 Ripple Road, Barking, IG11 7NT. We can also take group bookings and take care of all your party needs. The Turkish Kitchen, Barking.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 07944 56 5616. That's 07944 56 5616.
Everyone can now get free rapid COVID-19 tests twice a week. They show your results within 30 minutes. They also show you're doing what you can to protect your loved ones, your friends, your workmates, and that you want to keep life moving again. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be a friend, a relative, a workmate. It could even be you. Rapid tests are easy to get from nhs.uk/get tested. Let's take this next step safely.
The Career Link project is a free employment and careers service aimed at supporting young BAME women to navigate a path towards a successful future. If you're 16 or over and currently out of work, you could receive up to 10 months of personalised one-on-one career support and skills-based training to help you secure your future. Get in touch with us today on 07862 035 511 or email us at clp@tffn.co.uk. The Career Link project, your future in your hands.
Nikah, talaq, counseling on matrimonial disputes, Islamic wills, Islamic law of inheritance, or an Islamic verdict on any other issue. The Muslim Sharia Council is at your service. We provide official certification, and our experienced and highly qualified imams are available to provide you with guidance when needed. MQI London is based at 292 to 296 Romford Road, Forest Gate. We are open from Monday to Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. or alternatively, call us now on 0208 257 1786.
I'm Dr. Helen and I'm a GP. It's great that life's getting back to normal, but COVID still hasn't gone away. And we all know that catching it can be serious. If not for you, then for someone else. So if you're feeling under the weather, or you can't taste or smell your food, or you have a cough that won't stop, please don't ignore it. Don't wait, don't guess, get a test today. Order one online at nhs.uk/get tested or use the NHS COVID-19 app.
Now we're gradually coming out of lockdown. We can finally get out of the house and do some of the things we've all been missing, like meeting friends over a takeaway coffee or visiting family for a barbecue. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be your friend, relative, or even you. Help stop the spread by reducing travel and meeting outside. Let's take this next step safely. Remember, hands, face, space, and fresh air.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, great.
You sound it. You in the warehouse today, mate?
Yeah, got loads on.
Reckon you ought to get that cough checked first.
Probably just hay fever.
Don't dismiss mild symptoms of COVID-19. They can be dangerous. If not for you, then for someone else. Don't wait, don't guess, get a test. Order one on the NHS COVID-19 app.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, great.
You sound it. You in the warehouse today, mate?
Yeah, got loads on.
Reckon you ought to get that cough checked first.
Probably just hay fever.
Don't dismiss mild symptoms of COVID-19. They can be dangerous. If not for you, then for someone else. Don't wait, don't guess, get a test. Order one on the NHS COVID-19 app.
I'm Dr. Helen and I'm a GP. It's great that life's getting back to normal, but COVID still hasn't gone away. And we all know that catching it can be serious. If not for you, then for someone else. So if you're feeling under the weather, or you can't taste or smell your food, or you have a cough that won't stop, please don't ignore it. Don't wait, don't guess, get a test today. Order one online at nhs.uk/get tested or use the NHS COVID-19 app.
Does your pizza excite you? The London Pizza Depot invites you on a journey with our worldwide inspired pizzas. To the smoke and jerk drums of Jamaica, to savor the Caribbean hot, to sunny California, to enjoy the greatest invention, the Cali cheeseburger. Transport yourself with every bite. Our authentically prepared hand-stretched dough, freshly diced veg, finest cuts of halal meat, and our 100% mozzarella cheese ensures the delivery of a masterpiece every time. Visit www.londonpizzadepot.co.uk or our branches in Ilford or Plaistow. Now you can enjoy buy one pizza, get one free every Tuesday. T's and C's apply.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, great.
You sound it. You in the warehouse today, mate?
Yeah, got loads on.
Reckon you ought to get that cough checked first.
Probably just hay fever.
Don't dismiss mild symptoms of COVID-19. They can be dangerous. If not for you, then for someone else. Don't wait, don't guess, get a test. Order one on the NHS COVID-19 app.
Revive FM 94.0. On the radio, on your mobile, and online.
Welcome to the Mahtab Aziz Celebrity Lawyer Show on this very wet and windy evening. Our guest this evening is Mr Tahir Mahmood, and he happens to be in a much more better place than we are. So, good evening, Mr Mahmood.
Good evening as well, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I was just trying to sort of escape the wind and the rain. How is it where you are?
Over here is quite good as well, but it's, pretty hot weather. Apart from that, it's all good.
Right.
Thank you.
That's good to hear. Right. And, you will be, I believe, launching this new magazine called Pride of Pakistan. Is that the official title? Pride of Pakistan?
It's a slogan. It's a Pride of Pakistan, but the name of the magazine is more like a global, as you said, business economics name, which will be disclosed once we have a cover paper ready. I was a publisher actually in the UK by the name of British Asian newspaper, which was weekly.
Right.
And since I came back to Pakistan, I realized we have everything. We're doing very good in what's called fashion and, Indian cooking and everything. And the area which we missed out is the business and, the economic growth. And that's exactly what we need at the moment, because at the moment, Pakistan is growing very fast. And economically, and after this Gwadar, the port and everything, the things getting much better.
Right.
So therefore, there was a need for it.
Yes, I'm sure. I absolutely agree with you. I remember some years ago when I was in Pakistan, there was a rather glossy magazine called MAG, M-A-G. Is that still around or still functioning?
MAG was excellent magazine, which was a family mag, right? And it's no longer there because it was part of one of the newspaper, and they closed the newspaper because of that. It's no more in the market. The name is still in the market. People love that idea. And from there, they started Akhbar-e-Jahan and they started few other things.
Right.
But the mag is no longer here.
Right. So there's definitely a gap there for hopefully your publication to fill. And I'm sure it'll be successful.
You know what? The good thing, because obviously coming from UK and having living in Middle East as well, my schooling life was Middle East, right? So I know exactly what people need over there and how we can have the best results. And then luckily, because my schooling was Saudi Arabia, and I got so many friends in America and Canada, so they're becoming my distributors. So what the areas we're going, all of the Europe, UK, and then, going up to America and Canada. So that's going to be one of and the good thing about the magazine, 30% is in Urdu as well.
Right.
So I want to attract my own people, the people they actually don't get anything in their own language, because Urdu is not a bad language.
Yes,
it's just because it's a one country language, and that's where we always get the problem. A country have a one language only. So, and let's see.
Yes, I will certainly wait with great anticipation, because luckily enough, although I've lived sort of all my life in England, I am actually able to read and write Urdu. So I will look forward to your magazine, and perhaps it'll help me to sort of keep in practice my Urdu. Otherwise, it's very difficult to keep.
Definitely. That's going to be like one of the good things that your kids will actually try to read as well. I know there's the Urdu A-levels and O-levels and GCS going on in UK.
Yes.
And kids are doing, mashallah. And kids are over there, they're doing the job.
Right.
And mashallah, they're settled. They know how to read and write Urdu as well. And this is the way forward.
Definitely. In terms of, I know you also have this, was it 101 most powerful women CEOs. Is that part of this particular magazine, or will that be part of this?
It's part of, and it's a sister company we have. We work together because we wanted to give a space to females as well, and that's why we launched it before that. And we could not believe it's a waiting of like 150 successful women. They're waiting to be on it. And it's such a high demand because it's reaching and giving confidence. And when we do that, like a kind of like mentor, kind of like we do the evenings with the students and what's called universities as well. And when we show them this, the girls are doing very good and they're very successful in their, the professional life as well. And I think that's the positive side for the Pakistan, and that's what we exactly need to do because the population, larger area, is a female here.
Oh yes, and in fact, I've read on a few occasions. I've read it on a few occasions where Pakistani women have really done really well. I think I recall recently there was a Cambridge, there was a Pakistani student, female, who got the highest sort of marks in Cambridge University.
Highest mark on the ACCA in the world. She has broken all the records on that.
Right.
Yes, this is a young girl, and she has done very good.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many more like that. I mean, we seem to be blessed with some very intelligent people, and I recall when President Donald Trump first became president, and in one of his earlier press conferences, he was asked, Mr. President, what will be your policy on Pakistan? And I thought I was sort of braced for some sort of negative sort of comment as he had said in regard to other countries, but his actual reply was, "They're intelligent people." And I was quite amazed by that response, because that was the first time that I felt that he'd actually said something positive, and it is in fact true, because just recently I read another article that there were in fact some a group of students in Pakistan who had in fact beaten the top university in the world, which is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
I think so. It's called LUMS. Yeah.
Beaten the American university in a competition to do with aircraft design, and people don't associate or can't sort of really think that would be possible. The number one American university beaten by, it was like a David and Goliath sort of competition, and David being the university in Pakistan, where these students in fact had entered a competition for design of I believe an aircraft, and they'd actually won it. So it just goes to show that the sky's the limit. If you're prepared to go out there and not give up and try your best, you can basically achieve anything you want.
The thing is, since this new government, Imran Khan, who actually seen the world more than anyone else in the world, right? And he knows how we should be doing things. And since then, he's making the policies in such a positive way. I mean, obviously, what's called internal affairs are one thing for each country. We know how much crime is in UK. We know exactly what racism is. We know exactly. Therefore, we are okay in Pakistan on those things, because it's a one nation, one community, and it doesn't matter what their religions are. It does not make a difference. But we all have the same skin color. Okay, and then on top of that, obviously Imran Khan's name, which I think he's more famous than Pakistan itself in the last century, right? So he was like a well-known hero. And then after that, since he's taken over the government, and what he's playing on the thing, making relations good internationally, I think that's the first move he's supposed to do, and he is doing it very well. I mean, we should have a policies, we should have a system, all that. And since then, you will see Pakistan is growing, and Pakistan needs people like you to come into Pakistan and do the businesses, because everything is like positive. This is the area which is in the world which is growing now, and because of this Guada.
Hello.
Are you there?
Yes,
Yes. Because of this Gwadar, because China, the corridor we have, that's like one of the, the positive thing for Pakistan. I made a visit about 3 weeks before. I could not believe what I've seen over there, because housing societies, hotel, hospital, you name it, everything is there, and it's all operational. I mean, sometimes people say it's a development. I mean, development will gonna keep happening another 20 years, 30 years, because they're doing what's called a tax-free zone in that area. Anyone can do business. They can actually make their sub-offices in Gwadar area and do the trade with the world. So what more you want?
Oh, yeah, well, that's absolutely fantastic, and I'm really glad that you said some really positive things about Imran Khan, because I was actually his lawyer for nearly 15 years when he was here, most of the time, and of course I know him very well on a personal level, and that's why I've always thought that he, in fact, would be the best thing for Pakistan to progress. Unfortunately, prior to him, we had these sort of family sort of linked political parties, which unfortunately,
Can I correct you? They were not political parties. Okay, they were like royal families of Pakistan.
Yes.
The People Party and the Muslim League. They've been carrying their families and their kids and their kids into this, like they own this. It's not a kingdom country. We are basically a country where we do have elections. We have, the parliament house is there.
Yes.
But God knows why they didn't keep coming back again. I mean, like last Prime Minister, Mr. Nawaz, sitting in UK. I mean, he came 3 times in the power.
Yeah,
and each time he could not even complete 5 years. What's wrong with the guy?
Yes. Well, this is something which I wanted to ask you, because obviously, you're obviously a person who's sort of well tuned into Pakistani society and culture. And for me, it just seems absolutely bizarre or inexplicable that, when a person has been, in the position that Mr. Sharif is, why does he still have these blind followers? I mean, people sort of, blindly sort of support him, regardless of what the court result was in terms of, his integrity.
There's a case on him, he can come out and say, I'm not guilty, and there's the evidence, but because the guy keep lying on things.
Right.
So that's why he's run away from here. I mean, one thing which I personally, feel the British government actually should release him from the UK and send him back to Pakistan for the justice, because he is no longer be entitled to, hiding from the Pakistan.
Yes. Well, on that point, I can assist you on that point, because unfortunately, you see, a lot of European and the British government as well now, because obviously, as you know, because of Brexit, UK is out of the European Union now. But the thing is here, they are loath to step in those sort of scenarios where the person who is accused or whom the government wishes to be returned, where there's a political element. They're loath to interfere. They don't like to interfere, because they just feel that perhaps they can't genuinely and sincerely assess the truthfulness of either party. So that's why they don't tend to get involved in sort of political those sort of disputes which have a political foundation or basis. And this is what Mr. Nawaz Sharif has always been going on about, that these all these charges against him are political and that sort of thing. But I think that they appear to have been quite fairly conducted.
Well, as you are, your program is about the law anyway, which is quite interesting. I'm talking to you on this.
Sure.
I mean, living from 1989 till 2003 13 in UK.
Right.
I mean, I know exactly each and every law of the UK, right? But when it comes to I mean, if somebody is having kind of false allegation, yes, British government does help them, and they actually protect and they give human rights to the human, right? Which I always appreciated. I mean, the British government, the way they do, the way they treat. I mean, they even 90% doubt, and still there is a chance of 10% they try to protect that person, right?
Yes.
But somebody sitting in prison, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm asking question to you.
Yeah.
Sitting in prison, he's charged with it, and he's, after 6-7 months, he's saying, I'm going to just get my surgery done and I'll be back. And I need 3 months time. I mean, obviously, his entry was for the health reasons.
Yes.
It was not because he can go and get a political stay. It's no longer political because his the arrival to UK is on a health basis.
Oh, yes.
And it was through the court, and he had a permission to go travel and come back again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, certainly in black and white, I mean, as far as sort of Pakistanis are concerned, the issues are quite clear. But what unfortunately has probably muddied the waters, so to speak, is that previously, in terms of the Pakistan judicial system, there have been decisions, there have been occasions when perhaps a person may have been the system itself may have shown that there is an element of corruption, and that's why the British government tends to, even though everything may well be above board now, but because of that history of instances whereby it has been shown that there is an element of corruption, perhaps that is why they don't want to get their hands dirty, you see, in these sort of scenarios. I mean, the only way that
so what do you think if we actually, Pakistan, start protecting British criminals and start giving them what's called stay in Pakistan and not giving those criminals back to UK government? Is it going to be fair enough?
Well, this sort of scenario is already happening. I mean, in terms of we may not call them criminals, but I mean, in terms of Julian Assange, in terms of Mr. Snowden, these are people who have fled, certain countries and then been harbored by others, but still regarded as as criminal. But things wherever.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand. So according to that, we have to basically take action. So you're right.
That's right.
And how about your last visit to Pakistan? When was that, and where did you come?
My last visit was actually back in 2017. My family actually come from an area called Azad Kashmir, which is actually from the capital side, not from the Mirpur side. There's a quite a large population from Mirpur, Azad Kashmir, but there's hardly that many from Muzaffarabad, which is the capital of Azad Kashmir. That's where my family actually originally came from, and I went.
Great.
I went back in 2017 for a while, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I mean, I'd love to sort of go again. It's just that work always sort of gets in the way. That's the problem.
It's excellent because I visited the Kashmir and I went all the way up to Quetta as well, and it was an excellent experience.
Yes.
And it's like a heaven on this earth,
Oh yes.
But I wish it could have been in state, and we could have been in a much more better position to travel up to Jammu and Kashmir as well.
Yes.
So where we can actually, enjoy another neighborhood, and let's see how the thing goes.
Oh yes, and in fact there is the tourism industry in Azad Kashmir actually is really doing well. I mean, because of the nature of the nature of the land. I mean, there's valleys and there's mountains, so there's a lot of European tourists that go there and do the the skydiving and that sort of sports, and they love it, and it's really popular.
Can you actually believe when I've made it? I traveled all over the Pakistan, and I could not believe in the whole Pakistan there's a desert, there's a seaside,
yes,
there's a mountains, and there's a greenery. I mean, like for like Punjab, right? It's a place where we can actually, do all kind of other things.
Yes.
And, each part has its own beauty.
Oh, yes.
I mean, unfortunately, if you know exactly, I mean, we all talk about the negative things of the Pakistan.
Yeah.
If we remember, European Union and England, joined them and they left as well after. Do you know actually size of Pakistan is bigger than Europe?
Oh,
managing.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't aware it was bigger than Europe, but I was certainly aware it was a lot bigger than Ireland and Britain put together. It's a lot bigger than that. Yes. Yeah.
No, even your Germany, your Holland, and everything.
Right.
The population-wise, I mean, unfortunately, we never had a correct figures on a population. But whatever we can gather it, right? It's according to that. Even our population is higher than Europe itself.
Right.
So managing when we were like working in the European Union and we could not get any access into it, and they expect a country which is basically 72-year-old with 5 corrupt politicians and whatever, and then half of the life has been ruled by the army as well. And I mean, thank God, since I came in Pakistan, I mean, there was a People's Party, there was Noon League, and then, Imran Khan is there in front of my eyes, and they're all delivering. I mean, thank God the government actually given them opportunity to complete the 5 years. Even they had to change one of the prime ministers.
Right.
But this time, I think so Imran Khan is going to have that opportunity to complete his 5 years and then, inshallah, coming back again for the next 5 years as well.
Would I be correct in saying that's the first civilian government, or was it the second one that's managed to complete its tenure?
This is going to be the first one.
It will be the
this
first.
is the first one.
Right. Well, there you go. I mean, that's a great.
We will actually complete the 5 years. This is going to be the first one.
Right.
I mean, in 70 years, right? This is the first time it was completing 5 years.
Yes.
Can you actually believe it? This is like, wow. Can't believe it.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's excellent, and it's all down to Mr. Imran Khan and his approach. I mean, but I'm still astonished that people that still sort of blindly support the People's Party and they still go on about sentimental sort of things, which really in the real world, you just gotta get out of that sort of thinking.
I know what you're saying, but look, here they have kind of family values. They say my grandfather used to vote for People's Party, so I'm going to do. They still live in their own kind of world, and here they try to give like a sympathy. Mr. Zardari has this, he's been elected as the president of Pakistan. He did not go on the prime minister's seat himself because he knew this seat is never safe, right? And he had this success because people feel sorry where the Benazir Bhutto was no longer with them, right? And because of the sympathy votes went to him.
Yes.
Can you actually believe? I mean, the nation, they think they're very clever. They think people that come from abroad, they're idiots or whatever. Like myself, right? For the first 2-3 years, it took them so many years to understand me, even what I'm talking today. But people that've been living abroad, they have some good nature. They have some quality of life they have spent it. When they come back to Pakistan, I mean, like you got to do it like you got to start from somewhere again.
Yeah.
You got to start meeting new friends, and it's not easy. I mean, Khan Sahib took 20 odd years as well to coming up to the power.
Yeah.
The reason he wanted to bring the youth, he wanted to bring the new faces. He wanted to bring new politicians till his last election, but he could not win. So what he had to do was, take the people that've been in politics for so many years because they influence people in their local areas.
Yeah.
And because now the things are on merit, and that's where the things are getting difficult for them. And in the past, if the PIA does not meet another 10,000 staff or 5,000 staff, but the minister is sitting and he knows these people, he will actually give them a job. And the whole disaster, because all these big organizations, I mean, like PIA or Pakistan Steel or whatever, they had overstaffing. Pakistan Railway overstaffing.
Right.
And just because of the political reason, they've been actually giving them jobs and putting the pressure on the government. That was wrong.
Yes. Well, hopefully, I think with this new appointment, I have to say one thing, and that is that since Imran Khan has come in, I feel there has been like a sea change in terms of people, shedding this old sort of approach of nepotism and favoritism and just favoring family members and that sort of thing. I believe there is the sense that
in reality, you can blame anybody. You can say, "Oh, you're lying," and the other person have to prove that he is not lying on that. Unfortunately, but when it comes to favors, if we actually see, Zulfi Bukhari was very close friend of Imran Khan before he came into power. And look, he has to leave the seat as well. Okay, when the case came, he has to leave. What does it mean? I mean, the system Imran Khan has. I mean, Jahangir Tareen was one of his closest mates. And everybody say, oh, what he's done wrong, he was there for Imran Khan. Imran Khan made him his special assistant and asked him to sort it out, all the agricultural problems for the Pakistanis.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? Zero results. And the pricing started, getting into the problem in the way.
Right.
And we could not even get the right price on things. I mean, that was his domain. What I expected, if I was Imran, from my friend, who's actually a #1 tycoon in the country on agriculture, right? So I expected him to, bring the cost down somehow, give something more toward the public.
Yes.
But he did not do it. And today he's blaming, he's my friend. I did so much for the, for Imran Khan. I did so much for the country.
Yeah.
Come on, man. He gave you a job after winning. He had a response. One thing about Imran Khan, he is a man of his words.
Yes.
When it comes to people say U-turn, U-turn is actually because people question him wrong things on the wrong time. So you have to say, okay, I'm not doing this way, I'm doing this way. That's end of story. But at the end of the day, he's the daddy of Pakistan at the moment, and the daddy is doing good.
Yes, that's right. I have to say, obviously, I know Zulfi Bukhari personally. I think he genuinely tried to do a good job, but perhaps sometimes the system sometimes works against you, and I know he's made some very, very positive steps and achievements in tourism and other areas, and he
actually opened that.
Yeah.
He actually opened the barriers for the Pakistanis and overseas.
Yes.
I mean, he is the one who did the effort to make British Asian closer to Pakistan, and just likewise, going into America and other countries, Saudi Arabia, so many prisoners were there.
Right.
They've been released. It's all hard work because of Zulfi Bukhari.
That's right. I mean, he's a chap who will just quietly sort of work away, and then you just see his result. He's not the sort of person who sort of be boisterous or be boastful or whatever. He's not the sort of person. I know his personality, and I think
he's a great man.
Great man, yes. And I think. Yeah, and let's hope that he carries on. Hopefully when this issue is over, regarding this Rawalpindi Road, hopefully he'll carry on his good work. So, are you yourself? Are you based in Lahore yourself, Mr. Mahmood?
I am in. I got one office in Lahore, and I have another office in Islamabad, and soon to be open in Karachi, because I'm doing. I got another business as well.
Right.
There was another dark area, which is basically the healthcare. So I kind of taken the good things from the NHS, and such as like the patient history and all that. This is a company called National GP Clinic, and this is one of the biggest chain at the moment with nearly 30 clinics all over the country. And we are growing, and we're planning to grow up to 2,000 because health system has to improve before people get into trouble more in future. Because pharmaceutical companies, they are playing major role in third world country, not only in Pakistan, they're playing major role in India, they're playing major role in Bangladesh, even in Middle East, and this is need to be stopped. I mean, you cannot take somebody's life into your own hand and start giving, what's called expensive and without any reason, giving the medicine and say, I mean, such as like in my clinics, we have actually recovered 90 patients in last 3 months. They've been doctors been saying you got a diabetes and, you should take this insulin and all that. But can you believe when we actually did tests, we actually put it on the, change of habits and everything, they came as a clean people.
Right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, the pharmaceutical industry is indeed very, very powerful, and sometimes perhaps they just sort of wade in, with no sort of opposition, and they're just left to their own devices, and they can do anything they want in certain parts of the world. So certainly, there needs to be some sort of check on their activities. I mean, as you know, because of Brexit, there may well be ample opportunities now for people from the Indian subcontinent to try and professional people to start coming back in. Because I remember there was a time when there were so many Pakistani doctors, coming to the UK, and what happened was that because of a policy to try and within this country to in fact favor European doctors, what often happened was that when the Pakistani doctors would go back for a break, they wouldn't let them back in again. And this is a very sort of sad sort of set of circumstances, which meant that a lot of
that's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
weren't able to come back. So hopefully that will all change. And now that what are your thoughts on that? I think will there be sort of a mass sort of exodus of medical skill coming out of Pakistan?
You know what? I had this kind of like a letter from a UK, one of the what's called NHS contractor. They wanted 7,000 doctors as a GP. Okay, and they wanted about 40,000 plus medical staff like nurses and skilled people for the hospitals.
Yes.
And after the COVID, right? So you can see how much is the demand now.
Yes.
And regardless of immigration, they said we're happy to offer them immigration if their doctors and their families can come. But obviously, I personally feel Pakistan doesn't have people to give anymore.
Really?
Pakistan itself growing. And when you're a growing nation, exactly they need to keep the talent into their own country. And this is another reason of disaster in Pakistan. Everyone who's qualified engineer, qualified architect, a doctor, anyone who has qualifications, they leave the country. They leave the country. And they have unskilled people sitting behind and ruling the whole country.
Well, it's funny. We actually, from a personal viewpoint, in fact, one of my relatives, in fact, came over. He was a doctor. He came over, and because people said, "Why don't you come over, work here?" Blah blah blah. He came over here, sort of stayed, looked around for about a week or two. He said, "Sorry, this is not for me. I'm going back to." He went back straight away.
Exactly, because. They're not used to like a 9 to 5 and a fixed salary because they're making mega money here. They each. Normally we say the businessmen, they normally have properties and all that. But in Pakistan, I think so. In the towns, the 60% properties are owned by the doctors.
Yes. Well,
it's amazing.
Sure. Well, I think with him, it actually was more a question of probably quality of life, because life in Pakistan is very, very if you're an established professional person, life in Pakistan is just great. Those sort of people would.
Everyone lives like a prince.
Yeah.
I have a driver. My wife has 2 maids in the house. One take care of kitchen, one take care of the house.
Yes.
Are you got somebody who will take me to office? She want to go to shopping. You never think of a taxi over there.
Yes.
The size of the houses. 1 canal, 2 canal is average. And people, one thing about Pakistan, which is good.
Yeah.
The Pakistan government could be poor, but Pakistanis are very rich.
Yes.
Very rich people, Pakistanis.
Yeah, definitely. And the other good thing about Pakistan, I don't know whether you've sort of seen them, but there's been a couple of what we call travel bloggers. And what they do is, from Europe and America, what they'll do is that they'll go to Pakistan and they'll do these sort of short videos. And there's one chap called Drew Binsky, I believe, and there's another one. There's a Polish woman called Eva Zubek, and both of them have. I mean, they single-handedly have probably increased Pakistan's tourism by a bigger percent because their videos are so good. They give such a good impression of Pakistan and Pakistani people that I can't help anyone, not wanting to go there. So, these are people who have no sort of connection. There's no sort of question of them being bribed or anything. They just give these very, very genuine sort of, personal experiences. And one of the things that both of them found was that, whenever they used to go to any store, food store or anything, those chaps wouldn't even ask them for any money. And this is something which they find absolutely incredible.
I mean, how we treat, you know exactly how we treat, what's called foreigners. We treat them like, they're our guests and we don't want to charge money. They've been, some of the, the foreigners, they come, they hotel people, don't even charge them for food or staying. They say, it's all right. Enjoy yourself in Pakistan. And can you believe, I have this Arab woman from Saudi Arabia.
Right.
She came and she traveled. She stayed in Pakistan for 5 weeks.
Right.
And she said, it cost her only nearly about £200 all this trip.
Right.
And she was getting everything free.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's absolutely fantastic because things like this sort of they put back this idea of humanity. There's not just this world. It's not just a sort of me materialistic world anymore. There are still communities.
It's no longer there. No. It's always been taken care.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no social benefits that in Pakistan. But nobody sleep hungry.
Yes. That's incredible. I mean,
and the Imran Khan government, from the first 6 months, he made shelter homes, and they are like 5-star hotels. Can you actually believe it?
Right.
They're like 5-star hotel. People go. I mean, nowadays they have some people in the normal home maybe don't have air condition, but in those shelter homes they have air condition for the people as well.
Oh, I see.
And Mr. Imran Khan goes there on a regular basis now and then and have a meal with them to make sure the quality of the meal is good enough for him to eat as well.
Right, there you go. Well, I mean, just from that, you can see how far Pakistan has in fact progressed since the days of Mr. Nawaz Sharif and the Bhutto family. I mean, the impression I got with those sort of governments was that they're just there for a certain reason and not really to benefit the public. Whereas now, this particular government, it looks like most, or if not everything, most of the steps that are being taken are taken for the benefit of the people, which is absolutely a great thing to see.
Have you seen the news of the properties of Mr. Zardari in America and the cash transfers of Mr. Zardari? Some evidence, the financial what's called things coming up. And he actually requested the High Court today for a kind of for a plea bail before he goes to the court to fight the case or whatever.
Right.
And he asked for extra time for 1 month. And the High Court actually said, sorry, you got to come, we will not accept your documents until you're in the court.
Yes.
So he has a 1 day, by tomorrow. If he comes and if the government does not give him bail, the court does not give him bail, they can arrest him there and then as well.
Yes, well, many people have been clamoring, for justice because a lot of these, assets, obviously, as you know, a lot of these assets are the assets of the people, and that's why we saw so many demonstrators outside Park Lane apartments, and for this very reason, because people feel so done by these sort of politicians who appear to have
Look, let me tell you the whole thing, because the people, they were doing corruptions, they were sitting in Parliament House, they were sitting there, the lawmakers. So what they used to do, alter the laws according to their needs as well.
Right.
I mean, I remember 5 years before opening a bank account, it was like so easy. Just go and give ID card to the bank manager, and you get everything, in the post to go and collect it. Regardless, this is yours or not. They even don't bother because the one thing was, ask if there's an ID card number there, Shanakti card number there, open the service, whatever they want. Right? If Mr. Khan came and he changed the policies and he said, no, you need to know this man is a businessman, or if he's, that he's doing a job. If he's doing a job, there should be a job letter there. Okay? And if he's doing a business, he should have this registered business, and then he can open the account. Otherwise, don't open the account.
There you go. And these are policies, that really, they sort of prevent, abuse or misuse. And we need more of this. And this is exactly, I think, what Khan Sahib is trying to achieve in all the affairs of life, which is very, very.
There's so much to do. I mean, one Khan Sahib, he needs. The funny thing is, because bureaucracy is the same one which was with the Nawaz Sharif, and the judges were like the same people who've been appointed by Nawaz Sharif or Zardari Saab, right? Now the problem comes when they get orders from the Prime Minister office, they try to ignore them as well. And then now, I think it was like a month ago, 178 police officers, the retirement was given to them because they had a criminal files. And today, on a lower grade, 260 officers been removed from their positions because of all the criminal records they had. They were like doing duty and then even taking bribe, or maybe their name come in a murder, or their name comes. I mean, there were no policies. I mean, Khan Sahib is doing, he can do so much. Obviously, things were wrong for the last 50 years, I'd say.
Oh yes.
I mean, there was a load shedding since when I was 5 years old, right? And it's still load shedding. And it means what is going on.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes people just say, having loans from the IMF and this and that is okay. But, this IMF and all that, they give something to country with a heavy price. They expect, the others to do whatever they say. I mean, who's controlling the pricing in Pakistan? It's IMF. They say, charge this, do this. And this is the reason the Khan Sahib has to stand out for this and saying, no, we can't do this way. We cannot actually kill our, community. We're charging, overpricing on a fuel, overcharging on electricity. There's a limit. We have to draw a line.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, Khan Sahib said no more. I mean, obviously, there's a reason behind. There's a reasons behind. I mean, we had to say one day to stop all this nonsense going on in the world.
Well, definitely, you're absolutely right, and I feel hopefully this will be the turning point for Pakistan. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. It's been absolutely fascinating talking to you, Mr. Mahmood, and I think we should have you back on again because you.
We will actually, we will actually choose a topic. Next thing, I want to do one program with you because in Pakistan they claim they have British law in the courts.
Okay.
I mean, are you coming on the law side? We should actually do a program on that one day.
Definitely we'll do that. The news is fast approaching. It's an absolutely pleasure. Thank you very much. And thank you very much. And that's all for the Mahtab Aziz Celebrity Lawyer Show for today. See you next week.
And it's excellent, program, and I really enjoy it because it's always good to have a good host who knows what he's talking about. And after a long time, I actually enjoyed having a show with someone.
Very kind of you. And it's a great pleasure. And take care. And thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Everyone can now get free rapid COVID-19 tests.